What the fuck? Why did I pay $60 for an expansion of Modern Warfare 2? Oh, fuck you. Back in the early 2010s, Infinity Ward decided to pull out two bangers right out of their ass. Modern Warfare 1 and Modern Warfare 2. So how do you top off 5-star bangers? By dropping MW2 Part 2 Electric Boogaloo for $60 fucking dollars. What was Activision thinking? Did they not look it over? Short answer, no. Long answer, but still short, money! So now that it's 2024 and with Modern Warfare 3 released, it is just so fucking ass. I'm just so fucking mad that I was even hyped for it. If I had to pick between MW3 2011 and MW3 2024, I would pick 2011 over 2024 in a heartbeat. Fuck the future. So now let me give you a summary of why I believe that Modern Warfare 3 2011 should be cherished for still being a good and playable game. You start Modern Warfare 3's campaign as a man by the name of Sergeant Derek Frost Westbrook, a part of Delta Force, baby. Fuck yeah. America, baby. And of course, in an American fashion, you're introduced to explosions as well. Hell yeah! Modern Warfare 3 is taking place during World War III, and it's a war between America and Russia. I don't know where the world comes in, except for the fact that you go around the world, I guess. But you know, you do you. So anyways, Delta Force and Frost go around New York trying to kind of make New York safer. New York is taken over by Russians trying to make their first move on the US. It's a front, I guess. And the first thing Delta Force has to do, take out a jammer and just clear some buildings in New York. Push them back towards the water. And in the end of the mission, that does end up happening. You push them back into the water, and then Overlord gives you another mission after that. He says that you need to help out the Navy SEALs in taking down a Russian submarine with 15 fucking missiles inside of it. 15 fucking missiles. It sounds like in Modern Warfare 1 when Gaz says Russia has 15,000 fucking nukes. So Delta Force goes onto that submarine ship, stops the missiles from going, and destroys the submarine as well. And of course, they leave. Oh my fuck. You're then sent down to India near Afghanistan, where Price, Soap, and Nikolai are at. This is after the events of Modern Warfare 2, so Soap is still injured or wounded after taking a knife out of his stomach and throwing it into General Shepard's eye. You're introduced to a new character named Yuri, and Nikolai says that Yuri hates Makarov more than Price does. Remember that for later. Foreshadowing. Later, you find out that enemies are trying to invade the place too. And you have to kind of push your way out of there. And you need to bring Soap to safety, of course. I mean, you can't just have a wounded man get attacked by enemies. Come on now. They push through and Yuri almost fucking dies on a landslide, I guess. And also we get this line that comes from Modern Warfare 1.
Yeah, bloody hell's Yuri.
In the next mission, you're part of a bodyguard detail that is supposed to protect the president while he's on a flight to somewhere. During that flight, though, your plane gets hijacked by Vladimir Makarov and his men. Or at least just his men. Vladimir Makarov isn't on the plane himself. During this battle, the plane is shaky. A lot of things are happening all at once. And then finally, the plane comes down. You go and try to get the Russian president to safety, but as you open to put him into safety, he ends up getting back into harm's way as Vladimir Makarov appears in the helicopter and shoots you. Here's the cutscene.
You know who I am?
Yes.
Then you know what I want.
You're insane.
Russia will take all of Europe, even if it must stand upon a pile of ashes. I want the launch codes, Mr. President.
You'll never get them.
Every man has his weakness. Find the girl.
All teams, the daughter is secured. Repeat.
That was just so fucking perfect. Oh my god. In the next mission, you return as Yuri with Captain Price, and oh my fucking god, it's Soap! Soap! Soap, oh my god, Soap! I love you, Soap. Might. You end up going through Africa trying to figure out Makarov's next plans. This mission sort of feels like a filler mission. There's really nothing important besides the fact that you're just trying to figure out Makarov's plans. I mean, it does kind of go into the next mission they're going to be on, but still. In the next mission, you play as a different guy. You play as a soldier with an SAS. And the SAS team is tasked to take out, or at least get some things that Makarov has, which are chemical weapons. These chemical weapons were found out by Yuri, Price, and Soap while in their adventures in Africa, which means that technically the filler mission still had some importance. They fight through and go to the first truck, which is believed to have the chemical weapons, but as they open the truck, they realize that, oh my god, we've been bamboozled. It turns out that the other trucks had the chemical weapons, but they have an eye on them, so they go and fight their way through to get into the subway, just so they can get to the chemical weapons. And as that happens, they finally have the location of one, and they arrive to stop it. When they shoot that truck, the other truck that has the chemical weapons has not been found, and the person that was supposed to notify them doesn't hear the leader say, "Where's the other truck?" This then leads to a chemical attack in Russia, which, of course, in the next level, you could say, shows the death of a family because they were right in front of the chemical attack. While this is happening, Delta Force is going to evacuate the Vice President of the US out of Hamburg as he was taken by Russian forces. This is kind of another filler mission. Oh my god, it was so boring. Like, I can understand the firefight, but still, it felt kind of boring to me. In the next mission, you play as Yuri as you're back with Task Force 141 as you travel to Somalia to figure out where did those chemical weapons come from? Who allowed this delivery to happen? And an arms dealer that's connected to these chemical weapons may have the answer to that. So you fight through Somalia to get to this guy, and he tells you that the delivery is in Paris. The delivery happened in Paris to get the chemical weapons, and the person that led this was a man named Volk. Yeah, he's kind of ugly in the picture. But as they try to exit Somalia, a big sandstorm begins to come their way, and as it gets worse and worse, Nikolai gets caught in the crossfire, which is supposed to be their evac. His helicopter crashes, and they have to fight their way to get him to safety and get evac'd again. Honestly, that was a really fun mission. Like, I loved that mission. Well, not loved it to like be my favorite mission, but I loved that mission. With the new information that they have, Delta Force goes over to Paris to try to find Volk and take him in for interrogation. And oh my gosh, Paris looks horrible, okay? That chemical attack hurt them. GIGN is hurt. I mean, half of the dang city is hurt because of this chemical attack. If you go on YouTube and search up the sad story of GIGN, you'll see that what happened to them was horrible during this chemical attack. After finding your way to Volk, you have to go and distract them for questioning, and you go into the eyes of a chopper. A lot of people say that they love these type of missions where you go into the eyes of a chopper. I hate it so much. I always like being boots on the ground. I know, right? I'm an edgelord, guys. After a big battle in France, the Eiffel Tower collapses, and they extract Volk successfully. Meanwhile, Task Force 141 gets word that Makarov is behind enemy lines in Prague. So they decide to go there themselves so they can get a sniper position so they can, assassinate the guy. He's going to a hotel and they need to, get there. So they meet some allies that are led by Kamarov. I think I made the accent right. I don't know. And they take point in a tower nearby. Turns out, though, Makarov knew they would be there. And first, the hotel blows up with the death of Kamarov. And then next, the tower that you're in with you and Soap explodes too. With Makarov saying, "Yuri, you shouldn't have come here." With Soap saying, "What is he talking about?" And then, boom! Soap pushes you out of the building, and both of you look like you're about to fall to your deaths. After the fall, however, for some reason, your character is perfectly fine, but Soap, looking like he took most of the blast and the impact on the ground, He's wounded and injured. Captain Price comes up to you, frees Soap from the rubble, picks you up, and asks for help to bring Soap to safety. As you battle through the city with a wounded Soap bleeding all over the floor, his legs begin to go more and more limp as you need to carry him now, or at least Price carries him to a safe spot. And after taking him to a safe spot, with his last breath, Soap says, "Makarov knows Yuri." And he dies. After a heartfelt moment between him and Soap, Price tells Yuri to go down into the basement so they can get to safety and leave. But as Yuri opens the door to that basement, Price punches him and Yuri will fall down the stairs. Price asks, "How does Makarov know you?" And he explains the story of how Yuri used to be a part of Makarov's little clique because he believed in what Makarov was doing, but he didn't like how he was doing it. He wanted to fight for his country, but he didn't want to hurt innocent lives like that. So Yuri becomes a double agent and tries his best to inform the US military about no Russian, which it works, but he tells it to the wrong person. He tells it to General Shepard, and Shepard takes this as his opportunity to start a war because he believes that he can stop this war because he knows how to get to Makarov. And he wants his name to be in the big shiny stars, which it sort of works, but not really. Before the No Russian mission takes place, in the parking garage, Yuri is confronted by Makarov and is shot because of him betraying Makarov. Because it turns out Yuri was originally going to be where Joseph Allen was. But, of course, he was a traitor, which was, it was probably told by General Shepard. General Shepard probably snitched, but who cares? Price decides to let Yuri go and says that we just need to go after Makarov now. In the next mission, they do just that. They go and find intel on where Makarov will be, but they don't fully find it. Instead, they just find clues that, about where the US, or not the US, but the Russian president is. In Germany, Delta Force is tasked to bringing back the Russian president's daughter. Even though they don't have the Russian president, they can still get his daughter back. Maybe use her as bargaining in a way. I think. But as they fight through Germany with buildings falling and things just exploding and people dying, they do not save the Russian president's daughter. She gets taken after a big firefight inside of a building where Sandman gets knocked the fuck out and Frost is a badass. With the information of where the Russian president is, Task Force 141 and Delta Force decide to go into a joint operation to go against, or not to go against, but to go find the Russian president and to take him back into, the hands of the military, or Russia, of course. And of course, he has to be in a stupid bunker in a mine that is already close to collapsing. Now this next part, it isn't in the campaign mission, but it is during it. In the special ops stuff, you play as Frost in one of the missions where you have to detonate a mine, or at least self-destruct a mine because, enemies, they're bad, right? That mine is the same mine that's going to be in the next campaign mission. So basically what happens in the end of this campaign mission is because of Frost. Jeez. As Task Force 141 and Delta Force go down this mine, they fight their way through and go down into a deeper mine. And they actually get the Russian president, but as they leave, they get pinned down. They need a helicopter, and a helicopter arrives, but Sandman and the rest of Delta Force know that they need to stay so that helicopter doesn't get shot down by an RPG. They need to be a distraction. So they tell the chopper to go, and the chopper listens. And when Price says to go back down there, the pilot says, if we go back down there, we're as good as dead. And Price finally comes to terms with it. Because of this, Price decides now is the greatest time to go for Makarov, and they find out that he's at another hotel. This time it's a bit bigger than the other one. It looks like a resort, and they're going to take him out, Juggernaut style, I guess, because in this next mission, they pop out of a truck with Juggernaut gear, like literal Juggernaut gear, and start shooting the crap out of everybody. For soap! But halfway in, that Juggernaut armor becomes, melting metal. Melton metal? What? So they have to take the armor off, which, who honestly cares at this point? And now they know that Makarov is there. But since they know, that means he knows that they're there. So he says that he needs a chopper to pick him up. So that chopper is coming in, and they have limited time to get to Makarov before he takes off and leaves.